The Grinch That Stole Christmas, Elf, A Christmas Story, A Christmas Carol.
Arguably Die Hard and arguably Lethal Weapon.
Very true. And yet we also put into the category 1992's Batman Returns.
A little bit of mistletoe can be poisonous.
A kiss can be as deadly if you meet it. Don't you try it. Welcome back to A Tale of Two Bros. I am Angel,
I'm Adan.
where we give you a review at least once a week. Spoiler alert. Adan is here visiting me for the holidays. We're going over Christmas movies that we enjoy. This is one of them, Batman Returns. That did come out in 1992, starring Michael Keaton reprising his role, as well as directed by Tim Burton, his final Batman film. He was hoping to do a third, making a trilogy, but the powers that be, well, Warner Brothers, didn't want him to do it.
Sure.
You also have Michelle Pfeiffer playing Catwoman, Danny DeVito playing a beautiful performance as the Penguin, in my opinion. You also have
Christopher
Walken as Max Schreck, Michael Gold returning as Alfred. You also have Michael Murphy, the mayor. Was he the mayor?
Yeah, because they didn't show the DEA.
The DEA?
The DA.
But wasn't he? No, he was.
They only
Harvey Dent.
Yeah, but that wasn't Batman.
Right, that was Billy Dee Williams, but then they replaced him.
No, the man that they kept focusing on was the mayor, because that was the one that was supposed to be replaced by Penguin. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So you didn't see the DA in Batman Return. You don't see Harvey Dent.
Why did I thought that guy was Harvey Dent?
I have no idea.
Interesting. For some reason, I thought he was Harvey Dent. But let's move on. You have here also Pat Hingle returning as Commissioner Gordon. You have Andrew, how do you say that word?
Bryniarski.
Well, anyway, him, the musclehead geek who played other roles in other films, musclehead guy, big dude. He played a skinhead, I think, in John Singleton wrote and directed about this guy who became a Nazi, and it was those guys in it. He was part of that. You have also Vincent Schiavelli. He was the organ grinder. He was also in Ghost.
Yeah, he played the angry ghost on the train.
Right. Oh, Doug Jones. He played the Thin Clown. Doug Jones, he's known for his work in...
Oh, he's the one that stole the baby.
I guess, but he was really tall, but he's in Labyrinth. He's the Silver Surfer, the body.
Yeah.
So he does all that work where, they have the voice actors dub the voice. And so he's really good. I met him at a Comic-Con in New York, but it wasn't New York Comic-Con. It was a different kind of Comic-Con, but he's really nice. And you have
Branscombe Richmond.
Right. And we know him from Renegade. And he's in all these other movies that you may say the token Native American.
Very much so. And you know what? The funny thing about that is the only reason I know about Renegade is because of our godfather.
And you have also Paul Rubens making an appearance as Penguin's father. They worked together with Tim Burton. I think that was Tim Burton's first feature film was Pee-wee's Big Adventure. His first.
Wasn't it wasn't the Frankie Weiner film?
Right, but that was more of a school project.
Okay.
Officially, then they made it like another feature. But yeah. But I think that was his major film was Pee-wee's Big Adventure, as well as Paul Rubens starring role. On Rotten Tomatoes, it has a score of 81% by the critics and 73% by the audience. The original one has a score, which I find it funny because it's kind of flipped. Batman has it at 76 by the critics and 84% by the audience. I think this is a better film than Batman. It was more concise. Like with his work in Beetlejuice and his work in Batman, they both felt rushed.
Wait, well, just for perspective here, did you feel that way after rewatching it or before rewatching it?
I like this one
from the get-go.
From the get-go. I mean, I do like and I do love Batman, but Batman Returns, this feels a more complete film.
Yeah.
Than say the first one, which was good, but there's so many mistakes, and it felt like it was more controlled by the studio. They gave him, Tim Burton, control, but not so much. They had like a leash on him, where here you see Tim Burton's world or interpretation of Gotham City.
Yeah, there was
I
like,
can't help it but see it.
or there was some parts that even in the zoo, it's a zoo, right?
Yeah, it was the Gotham Zoo.
You said they reuse, or it looks like they reused some of the scenes from some.
Not some of the scenes, but some like the sculpture in Beetlejuice, the one with the claws, what have you.
Yeah, may have been reused, or
They reused it in one of the zoo settings,
yeah,
and it kind of reminds me. We just saw Rebel Moon as well, and that contraption that captures the people.
it looked like another Beetlejuice sculpture.
Right. But mechanical. But you see, like, you can see his world come alive. You see the actors, Selena Kyle with pale face, where she turns into Catwoman.
Yeah.
She has like a pale face with some dark circles, very Tim Burton-esque, what he was known for. He did it in Beetlejuice. He did it in Edward Scissorhands.
And Todd.
Sweet. Yes. And there's a callback to the old black and white films that he loved. I think they were like German films. I forgot the style is called, the type of genre that's like very German. We see a better complete character of Bruce Wayne and Batman, where the first one was more focused on Batman.
Yeah.
Some Bruce Wayne. Here it has a balance of screen time of Bruce Wayne and of Batman. You see more of Bruce Wayne's character, like he's longing to be in a relationship. He feels like he finds an equal in Selena Kyle.
Yeah.
Even though they don't know that they each other's identity until
They figure it out.
they figure it out at the masquerade party with saying those lies that we said earlier. Now, I think this is a Christmas movie. Why I think this is a Christmas movie? Because it's set in Christmas. Why? You're bombarded with the Christmas tree. They even say at the end, "Merry Christmas, Mr. Wayne. Merry Christmas, Alfred."
Mm-hmm.
Die Hard is a Christmas movie. We did our review on that, and we gave our great examples of why that's a Christmas movie. This has that similar layout where you have Batman has to figure out who's naughty, who's nice. Well, it's kind of easy because they're dressed up in a certain way.
True.
And it's kind of a little easier. Penguin has his, or
Krampus
has his evil elves helping him to accomplish his goal.
Well, also,
take the babies.
Well, yeah, because like the Krampus would punish the children who were naughty, and Penguin was trying to punish the
Parents.
the parents for basically the same thing that was wrong to him. But he sees all of the Gotham aristocrats or nobility or whatever,
right?
And he's punishing them because they don't treat people equally. They they treat them like freaks if they're not one of them, or so forth like that. Granted, he's a very extreme character. Krampus is a very extreme character too, but it's it's the same idea. He goes in, he takes the children, he's going to punish the children. He even acts it out. He's like, I'm going to be like a Pied Piper. I'm going to walk them over to the water and dunk them to the water.
But also it's very religious too, because you have where like God would, in one fable, what have you, that he killed the children. The Pharaoh
sacrificed the firstborns.
Right, exactly. So you have that where the Penguin's doing is kind of similar in that fashion.
Yeah.
Rewatching it again, it's really good. It was darker. It was a lot darker than the first one.
Less death though.
Less death. Batman kills again here. He kills, when we took account, he kills about 4 people. You'll think it's more, but it's actually 4 people. In the first one, holy crap, he killed a whole bunch of people. I mean, he destroyed a building which with the Joker's men were still in.
Yeah.
So you can also say that he killed the Penguin indirectly.
Absolutely.
With the Penguins redirecting their missiles. I know. I think Batman Returns, if I have not said it earlier, is far better film than Batman. You had the high score, I guess, for Batman because of, like you said, nostalgia. Was the first time we see Batman on the big screen. We see a modern interpretation, because we had before that was the Adam West series. There was a black and white serials. Yeah, serials. Back in the day, we also have the cartoon Super Friends. So when you had that modern take, it was refreshing and people like it. But for me, it's better acting. Christopher Walken's performance as Max Schreck was fascinating. Like, he's just like Hans from Die Hard. His interpretation, his performance as the villain, is great.
Yeah, he was actually more of a mastermind than Penguin. And I like
Well, Penguin had his thing was limited,
exactly
right? Where Max saw that the bigger picture. How can he? Well, you remember he is developing a power plant
through siphon power.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right. Instead of give it to people, he was more like taking it, like
to monopolize the power.
Just like in Robin Hood, how Robin Hood will give money back to the poor, where the king was taking the money away from the poor.
Mm-hmm.
Max Schreck was doing the same thing. We're taking the sources away from them, from the city, the poor, and Bruce Wayne called them out on that on their meeting. Again, when you're watching these movies over and over again, or periodically, like in the holiday season, you're like, oh snap, okay, you see this. Because before, you're just drawn by the charismatic attitude or performance of Max, Bruce, or Christopher Walken, Michael Keaton. You have also performance by Michelle Pfeiffer. And again, Dan DeVito. I remember saying this to you when we watched it, that when I saw it, me and Mom saw it at the Deptford Theater. I don't know if it's still up in Jersey. After that, we saw Batman. I was like, dude, if they do a sequel, they got to get Danny DeVito for the Penguin. He'll be so perfect. Reason why I said so perfect far back and in such a young age is just that because he was short. But his performance blows my mind every time. And they take that influence in the Batman animated series.
Oh, yeah. No, you could tell the Selena Kyle's influence was in later on brought in and brought into the show. You're not wrong in stating that the quality of the acting in this film definitely outshines the last one.
Yes,
because arguably you could say it was just 3 people bringing it here in the first one.
Oh, in the first one, okay.
Yeah, you had Jack Nicholson, Michael Keaton, of course, and Vicky Vale.
Kim Basinger.
But those were the 3 performances that everybody think about. And then even at that, it just drops.
Well, don't forget Alexander Knox.
Yeah.
The reporter, who was absent in this one.
Yeah, well, a lot of people were absent in this one. They were referenced, but they were absent.
Well, Vicky Vale, because he let her do her thing. Right. True.
Commissioner Gordon had less of a role here than he did in the first one.
Very true.
Here it was more villain oriented.
Well, you have 3 villains here.
You do.
You have,
and I'll say this, like remembering as a kid, because I hadn't seen Batman Returns for years. I completely forgot about Christopher Walken. And then rewatching it now, I was like, how could I forget him? Like I was focused on Penguin, Catwoman, but he definitely brought a whole different take to it that I, as an adult, can say, wow, it really is a different feel when you look at it from that perspective. Michelle Pfeiffer, I loved the portrayal that she did, we were talking about this, where a lot of people argue that it was a spiritual thing or supernatural thing that was happening.
It came about, right.
But like, if you really watch the movie, it's a psychological thing. She's even talking to herself in her reflection at the window of a shopping store, trying to figure out what's going on with herself mentally, because she basically had a breakdown. Right.
Well, it's just like that thing, like we talked about also while we're watching it, in the sense of like the Killing Joke, where we have interpretation of how the Joker came to be, where all it takes is one bad day.
Exactly.
And her was not just one bad day, but it was that one day that was enough.
Exactly.
It was like that's
what the Killing Joke is. This is like that one bad day that pushes you over.
Right. It was like the straw that broke the camel's back, where she's trying to do good. She's doing, trying to please everybody, her mother, her boss, trying to have a love life, but she can't because the guy that she tried to have a date with, his doctor or his therapist, says he needs alone time. Things of that nature, where she's trying to have a life, but everyone is, and trying to make everyone happy, but is not working. And when Max Schreck throws her out the window, she doesn't just fall down straight to the ground. Her fall is broken by the canopies on her, like 3 to 5 canopies.
It's a lot of canopies
that stopped her. Then
and you hear the ripping of the canopies.
Right. He's here laying down. There's no real blood there. There's nothing like she busted a skull or something like that. And then you have like the cats come in, and yeah, there's this argument that these cats
Gave her 9 lives.
Gave her 9 lives. No, they're licking her, they're touching her, giving her like
Stimulus.
yes. One cat's biting her finger, one they're licking her face, all that stuff. It's just like she's being touched.
It's not like she's never experienced cats before. She had a stray cat that would come into, or
She was a cat lover, yeah.
Yeah.
She was
And she, at one point, you could argue that she was envious of that cat before all this happened.
Well, because the cat was getting it on with the other cats in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Right. But you see, like, when she comes back, she's kind of like out of it. She's in shock, if you will. She's not really thinking she has a concussion, obviously. And then
she gets her voicemail.
Right. Yeah. But her voicemail is the one that, like, from a telemarketer talking about her boss. And then that kind of brings her back to reality.
Yeah.
And that's when she loses it, because she just feels like the freaker tried to kill me.
Yes.
And her true personality, or
her id.
But I compared it to also Jim Carrey's Me, Myself, and Irene.
Yeah.
A nice guy, nice person is being taken advantage of. And then that one thing where that lady came in, do you mind me if I cut in front? I just got a few things. And she comes in with 3 large carts of food where he only has a newspaper, Jim Carrey that is. And he just sees it, he just loses it, and then his alter ego comes out. And the same thing for her. That was a little overacting in my opinions, where she's screaming, she goes like, puts her hands in her face and then trashes her apartment. That could be overlooked. But I just saw when actresses or actors go, and it takes me out. It takes me out a little bit. But that performance, and then you see how she becomes, where she becomes super confident, even though she's not with Bruce. You see that the little girl, she has the
first time she meets him, she is, but when she's trying to balance out like her normal self to her Catwoman persona, and they're trying to balance themselves to become one again, or it's my interpretation. That's when she's starting like a little bit with Bruce. Like she's like, when she meets Bruce, a little bit of her old self and a little bit of her new self is more balanced, and she's like, I feel like I'm being who I want to be.
You're right. She wants to be, yes, exactly. But she's also bent on revenge.
Yes.
And gets pissed off. Like
she gets pissed off about a lot of things, like the male, stronghold over women and so forth, like that.
But also,
like an extreme feminist, but at the same time over the frailty of women.
Well, she's pissed off that too when she saved that one woman in distress, played by the thug who was also in Predator and 2. He was the main Latin leader in Predator 2, and he was one of the soldiers in Predator 1.
Yeah.
And he makes an appearance here as a street thug. But yeah, she shows her distaste in women allowing themselves to be the victim.
Yes.
Which is very powerful. She's like the Princess Leia, if you will.
Mm-hmm. The interesting thing, which I forgot until I watched this, was she didn't really want to hurt anyone permanently. She didn't like want to kill people.
Except for Max.
Yeah, those Max, 100% she wanted to kill. But like the girl lighting the tree, she's like, I thought you were going to just scare her. And
he got scared.
And she was scared when she was falling down.
Right.
There's a lot of good moments that are in the film. That's
so much
that are just hidden gems.
And there's also full pause here.
Absolutely.
As well. Like no real movie that we love is free of full pause. And also there's some good moments in movies that we don't like as well. So there's some there, Now, talking about that, besides the performances by all the main actors, again, Christopher Walken, Michael Keaton, Dan DeVito, Michelle Pfeiffer, what was a good moment for you thought?
Weirdly enough, I kind of like the moment where Christopher Walken or Shrek, which is funny that his name is Shrek, because all I want to think of is Shrek the movie when I call out his character's name.
Right.
But when he's coming up with the pitch of making Penguin mayor, and you see Penguin is very animalistic in a lot of ways.
Oh no, true.
Which is different than what like Adam West Penguin was, what I remember in the comics and what I remember in cartoons. He's more primal, but he's eating the fish raw.
It's being introduced as the new mayor prospect.
Yeah. And then you got he's introduced to like his two heads of his campaign.
Oh, he's so horny, this guy.
He is absolutely
so horny. Like, it's so funny that
you think about it. He's been in a sewer. Only ones were his clown gang,
right,
or circus gang, which they had some hot ones there too.
True.
Yeah, but I don't think he's hooking up with any.
Well, maybe he has, maybe he hasn't. But the thing is, his libido is so like next level. He tries to get, because he knows he's ugly. He accepts that, and so he'll take any advantage that he can to cop a feel, or he'll say stuff. And like he says something like, you're like seeing, it's like, oh my God, for a Batman movie, a lot of kids are watching this, and what he's saying, if a parent was like, holy crap, like
he's like, I'll show her my flipper technique.
Right. Like for me, I would not know if I was a kid watching it. I didn't remember him saying that. All that stuff.
Absolutely.
But I know of like our parents that saw that, like, what the hell?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this movie is like another turn. I won't say 180 turn from the first one, but you see the sexual innuendos in this from the Penguin, even from Michelle Pfeiffer a lot of times, with a sense of the way she talked. Very sultry, very sexy. Her approach to it is, I guess, the studios wasn't ready for or expected, and I guess some of the audience didn't expect it too, in a sense, what the direction went in this one. And I, as me being an adult, I'm all for it. Like I said, I just think the performances here are just on another level. It's fun to watch. It's great to see their performances, especially, like I said, Danny DeVito. To me, it's like Danny DeVito, Michelle Pfeiffer, and Christopher Walken kind of outshine Michael Keaton, even though Michael Keaton is great.
He's great as Batman, but he was absolutely outshined, without question.
Oh yeah.
When she would they would interact as Catwoman to Batman, her character overpowered him as far as performance wise. Michelle Pfeiffer stole the show in front of Michael Keaton a lot of times. And Christopher Walken, you said it, he's so charismatic,
and he's the way he's always dressed. Now I don't understand why he has gloves on. It's inside. He's not outside. I can understand it because it's winter, but he's inside. He's dressed from neck to toe in a suit to the nine, wearing these gloves as if maybe he had an accident with his hands.
Or he's like a germaphobe.
Didn't take it like that.
Because remember in the sewer, she's always covering his face with his handkerchief.
Well, that's because of the stench.
Yeah, no one else was.
Well, they're used to it.
Yeah.
He's not used to it. He's used to, potpourri and all the stuff around him. He's that's like the low of the low, where he's from the high of the high.
But he also has a thing against like rich people too, because like he had a thing against, he would always make sly remarks to Bruce Wayne about like, oh, you must have been in your preppy school and stuff like that.
Well, yeah, he's probably like where Bruce was born into the wealth. Max
worked his way up,
right?
Yeah. And like, in matter of fact, in that same meeting, he's talking about like the difference. I was like, those are white collars. They're not going to know the difference of a good hard work,
Yeah. So I mean, yeah. I also like his mascot, the cat, where it kind of reminded me of Felix the cat for some reason.
He does have that roundish head.
Yeah. So I wonder if Tim Burton was a fan of Felix the cat. Did we say what our favorite moments were?
I was saying
it's not like performances.
I was saying like the scene where they brought Penguin was being introduced for.
Right. Oh, yeah, right.
Which led into the scene where Penguin meets Catwoman in the loft.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, that's all. It runs back to back. What about for you?
But wait a minute. That's two different scenes. This is where he's established, where the one with the fish and he bites the nose. He's dressed in his skeevies.
I thought he was in his skeevies both scenes.
When he meets Catwoman?
No, not the first time he met her. Second time.
Well, no, the second time he meets her,
it was his loft is right above where they.
Right. The first time he meets her is when the store blows up.
Yeah,
Shrek's store blows. That's when he meets her.
Yeah, I'm talking about the second one with the bird.
Right. That's after he is introduced to his campaign people.
Yeah, it literally goes right into that scene.
No, it doesn't.
What was the scene after that?
When he meets Catwoman at his loft, he's fully dressed. They're planning to take down Batman.
Yeah, okay.
But the thing that was great about her also is like even though she despised what men have done to her, she still tries to have trust with Penguin. She tries to form an alliance with Penguin, and then she gets stabbed in the back again or betrayed by Penguin because he's trying to consummate the relationship. And
He literally proposes to her.
oh yeah, and she's like, ew, and he hangs her, and then she drops into a greenhouse.
Yes.
And screams again and busts the window. And the only person who's trying not to hurt her is Batman. And she stabs him.
Yeah, well, that was before Penguin. That was the first time because remember,
they already met, and then he goes after her because Penguin leaves. Remember,
yeah,
and she's climbing, and so Batman goes after her, and they're fighting.
Yeah,
and she's on top of him, and then she's like, "Where are you?" Oh, understanding, and she's
that was her second death. She never died technically.
No, she never. No one
perceives it as a death.
Correct, because the first one, and then yes, she fell.
She survived all those incidences, but like arguably could have killed her.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're like perceived death. But yeah. So her first death was by Shrek.
Mm-hmm.
Second one was by Batman. Third one was by Penguin.
Correct.
And then all the others were Shrek again.
3. No, there's more.
No, yeah, because she's like, I 3, and she's like, I got 6 left. And then because it's 9 lives.
No, I know.
And then she got shot.
She got shot 3 times.
No.
She got 3 times.
She was shot.
Well, no, she got 4 times. She got shot 4 times. She's like,
I got 2 lives left.
You're right, because when she gives him the kiss of death, that's 8. Yep. Correct. She was like,
and she's like, I'll stay here for the Christmas next year.
No, it was like, 6, 7, all good girls go to heaven, and something 5. I'm still alive. You're right. So you're right.
She said 4 or 5. I'm still alive. 6, 7. All girls go to heaven.
Right. And give me a kiss, and that was it. Which was, to me, technically, it was like should have been 8, 9 because she did the electricity as well as that. So, us, in my opinion, and that. What about food pause? Oh, for me,
what was your favorite?
For me,
a few moments later,
masquerade ball.
Oh, when they figure out each other.
Yes.
It was a good moment.
And then they hug each other, and she says, "Do we have to fight now?"
It's like that.
Yeah. So I mean, that's a really good scene. It's a powerful scene because you have 2 people who really like each other.
And she's like on the verge of tears too.
Well, yeah, because the thing is that she made a decision that since Max Shrek is throwing that party, opportunity to take him out.
Yeah.
She brings out the gun. Yeah, it was just, and then they're by that mistletoe again, and they say the lines opposite of each other. She said, he said at first, mistletoe can be deadly if eaten, and then she says, "It's even deadlier if you mean it." And then they flip the role, they flip the saying, and that's when they realize that moment is like, it's almost like Star Wars, "I am your father."
Okay.
Well, no, like in a sense, like, oh my God, it's like, holy crap. We know it, but for them, it's like the holy shoot, that's you, not just you. And it's like you feel bad for her because she can't get
a break.
And then also where like they're making out on his couch.
Oh, and they both have injuries, but they're both trying to hide it. But then
injuries,
you see the news broadcast,
right? But they're all flabbergasted, trying to figure a way to get out, or please let her know, please let him know that I have to go. But
I thought it was funny, like when she tells Alfred, like, can you tell him like a dirty soliloquy or something like
dirty limerick,
and he's like, already thinking, I already got one.
Yeah, and
I'm like, I want to hear the limerick.
But he doesn't need to because he knows it's like, I'm saved. I don't have to do nothing. But no, where like, it was just like the night before.
Yeah.
They fought. She touches his rib. He's like, he reacts and he moves his hand right away. But with her, before he can touch it, because he hit her and she fell in the
But he was lifting up her shirt.
No. He wasn't lifting up her shirt. The thing was like her arm was up and they were moving and the sleeve was going down, exposing her scar caused by her falling into kitty litter, and her sleeve got ripped, which was later fixed when she saw Penguin.
It was actually caused by because remember, he was hanging and she was trying to knock him off, and he took a little bow and he threw it That's why she went to.
Oh, it's like
she's
acid. It's like acid. Okay.
She's like, he name palmed my arm.
Right. That's true. That's right. And it was all ripped, and then she fixes it later.
Which it's a subtle thing, but I do enjoy subtle, costume changes like that. Where every time she had a pseudo death or she had an injury or whatnot, her costume will be ripped, or and she'll slightly repair it, but clearly can't do a full repair.
Right.
And as the movie's progressing, it's getting more and more damage.
Right, which I thought was also a great touch, which to me doesn't make sense in the final scene.
Tell the people why.
Originally, Tim Burton had a plan to bring Catwoman back for his third installment of Batman.
Makes sense.
It was, even though that was not Michelle Pfeiffer looking up at the signal, I think it was her body double that did it. But leading up to that, when she kills Max Schreck, when she finally does it, electrocutes herself as well, she rips off her headpiece and throws it to the side, where Batman ripped off his headpiece as well, but she threw it off to the side, and it was already torn up before that was happening. When we see Catwoman come up, the headpiece is already in like full, like untouched, undamaged way, where you were saying before, every time she had an outing and every time she had a pseudo death, her outfit would get damaged more and more. They never sat right with me. Because it doesn't make sense. If they had a blonde hair woman look up with wavy hair, okay.
Your argument makes sense to me because it never looked like she was gaining more materials to repair her suit. She was just repairing what she had.
Right, and you also said this too, is like, how does a raincoat make up a full body outfit? Which is, you're right, you're not wrong. I mean, I try to fix it and it says that
she may have had the gloves, she may have the boots, but those gloves look like she had them.
No, she already had them. Like, she didn't make them. So she already had them already. And she already had the boots, apparently. Maybe in those ways, like, she got them to maybe I can try this out. Maybe I can be a naughty girl, whatever.
Yeah.
Talk about Selena Kyle's more calm state. And she was trying to rebel from that at one time. And she said, no, I'll just put it to the side. She has something in her closet.
It's like her one black outfit.
Well, yeah, but it was like her little, like, out of character outfit that she had. We all had that sometime in our closet here and there, where we have a shirt or an outfit that we like for a special occasion.
Yeah.
You go out and she had that, like, maybe if she has that man, she can be the sexual, whatever you want to call it. She had that for a special naughty time or something. But yeah, it doesn't make any sense that how she has that. I mean, it's believable in the way that how it's presented, but if you look at it, a raincoat doesn't have enough material to make a full bodysuit.
Yeah,
more or less. Even though the leggings can go maybe mid calf and down to here, but then you also have the helmet, the headpiece, the cow.
It didn't go that long to go.
No,
that
it didn't. But it still worked nonetheless. It still sold us on the possibility, I guess you want to call it.
Yeah.
And apparently Tim Burton has a thing for patent leather, because not only did she have it, but also Penguin had it with his gloves. His gloves were patent leather.
He had that from the get-go.
But I know that. I'm not saying that he made them, but I'm just saying he had that from there. Even Max Schreck's shoes, even though they had that 1940s kind of like over the shoe thing, like his shoes itself were like very shiny.
Since we're talking about outfits, got to talk about the Bat Closet, where he's like, what shall I wear for his Batman outfit?
And he has the same, kind of like Einstein, where Einstein never, or like in The Fly, where Jeff Goldblum's character always had the same, like high intelligent people do that. They wear the same clothes because it takes them away from thinking of what they're thinking of, like an equation or something like that.
True.
So they just had the same thing. But yeah, so you have them there. You have all these statues come up, which is kind of funny too, because he walks in and then he just stops in front of the first one. And then it cuts to him going through a closet full of other Bat costumes on a hanger, which I thought was kind of funny. But again, it works. And it doesn't, but it does, because he has like, what we see, like three
statues.
3 statues of the Bat costumes in full attire.
Looking identical.
Right. And I was trying to look to see if they had the old costume in there, but you can't really see it. It's kind of hard because it's all dark. Because this one, his costume is different. It's more like a knight or very robotic.
in the
Yeah.
front.
Yeah, not like a knight like Excalibur where there was like chiseled like Greek gods.
Yeah.
In the first one, here is like, yeah, it's very mechanical, almost like RoboCop in a way.
He didn't have like the faux abs. He had more like plates.
Yeah, like RoboCop though.
Yeah.
Another great movie. Notice the faux pas of the poodle not jumping high,
Like catching the batarang.
but catching the batarang, right? Because Batman has the batarang set up to hit the goons or the clowns, and they're all hitting in the face. And this dog hops a little bit to catch the batarang before it hits his owner.
It's the shortest jump I've ever seen a dog do. And
Yes, it was like, ugh. And you call that, it's like, wait a minute, that makes no sense.
yes,
But
unless Batman was aiming for the dog.
which would be this, Peter would not be happy about that.
True. I think you had an issue with them, like how they hijacked the Batmobile.
Did I? No, I thought.
You're like,
Oh, I like. That's another scene I liked.
you know, all you did.
I like the one. No, because like you have like, well, like when Batman came out, it was a big craze, and Batman memorabilia was all out, toys, stuff like that. But also like rides you see in front of the supermarket.
Oh, he had the little goat,
Little Batmobile with
the one you put the quarter in.
Right. So you had that in there, and he's inside that van or what have you, and he's riding it. But you see him like him really being visceral, and especially when he's getting pissed off with that, he finds out that his has no longer control of the Batmobile because Batman figured out where the remote is at. And you see him like getting really angry. And he's like screaming at the screen, trying to, that was, I mean, again, like Danny DeVito's performance is just on another level. I mean, that's why I find this better than the first one, because again, the acting here, the performances is just so up there. I mean, they should have been nominated for awards because of performance, but again, at that time, it was not seen as worthy of awards because it was a comic book film.
Fair enough, yeah.
And very adult, again, with the sexual innuendos that was throughout the movie, and a very machismo approach where she was the counter, pro-feminism.
Yeah.
To me, I think it's ahead of the time. Does it hold up today?
I think so. Yeah.
I think it still holds up. Now, there is some point of view, if you will, and it says everything seems to be all on the same plane, where, like, say, when you see Penguin's hands show up while looking at the Christmas tree, it's all on the same thing instead of like the Christmas tree being blurry or putting the hands into focus.
Oh, I thought you were going to say like the lighting, how like sometimes the lighting just doesn't work. Because like when he's like, wah, 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 like trying to make the bat symbol, and they show it, the shadow on the ceiling, like he's laying on the bed and it's right on his chest.
I mean, it still works, but if you look at it, it's like that should not be working.
Yeah.
But we get what's going on.
Oh, we talked about the bat signal. I remember that.
Right. That is true. When
at the beginning of the movie.
Yes. When the clouds show up, yes. And he's called. What are you doing? Put on the signal by Commissioner Gordon. So the signal goes up, searchlights go on, and on the Wayne property,
yes,
hits the building, and then right where he's contemplating a life or maybe, there's like no reason why he's just sitting there alone.
Just sitting brooding.
Brooding in a library full of books, but not reading. What's funny is like, he sees it, he does a dramatic look,
stands up
and just stays there. I know. It's for the camera. It's for us to see all that, but it's a few seconds too long. Like, I would have liked to have seen as he sees it, he gets up and then he starts to move to where he has to go.
Me, I was just stuck on the fact that like the bat signal is shining up to the clouds at night. And then how does it capture the light, like Ark of the Covenant, and like reflect the lights all the way to it?
And it probably has a sensor. When that goes up, it activates
the bat signal in his house.
I guess so. But what I'm saying is,
there has to be a better way.
but the thing is, like, it did not go off when they were on a date, and then they have to leave because the penguin is out there, and so is Shrek, and they.
Well, he was in a different room. When it was on the date, he was by the fireplace in a different room. He wasn't in the library.
But what? So what? It doesn't work It just lights up in the library. It wasn't in the same place.
I mean, it's the same house, but
So what if he's in the bathroom? It isn't like a show, and it's just going to show right in the library.
I guess. I don't know. Alfred would be like, I'm just saying, like Alfred knocking on the bathroom door, like, sir, the library bat signal is on.
But what I'm saying, it works for us in the sense of, as fans, seeing how Batman is called and how he reacts. But if he's on a date, it would totally suck his secret identity being hidden. And they'll be like, Brucey, why is there the bat signal on your mirror? Why is it on your...
I talked to Gordon, and like it just somehow gets to me every time. I was like that neighbor that has that bright Christmas.
Listen, if you're trying to hide your secret identity, that's a bad way of doing it.
Because you could see those lights. They show them on the building. They're like floodlights. Like you're huge.
Super bright. I mean,
you could see them from miles away.
The mansion must be super far away, even though I thought Vicky Vale followed him, leave his mansion to him to go to the crime alley to pay his respects to.
She did.
Right. So if she's so easy there, how is it so... I mean, if anyone was walking by their dog at night, what have you, and they saw that, they're like, hey, why is the bat... Hey, that's
so bright.
That's Bruce. Bruce's bat. I'm just saying, like,
which is even funny at the end of the movie. He's like, why are you dressed like Batman? He's Batman, you idiot.
And then they have the homage to the Batman series. Instead of flipping the head of William Shakespeare,
he puts his arm in a tank, and
it's a switch, Iron Maiden, or coffin, if you will.
It's an Iron Maiden. It's basically a coffin that opens up but has spikes inside.
But what's funny though, I find it that,
and they reference about Vicky Vale with like
right before that,
like there. Yeah, he's like, who let her into? Who left the door open for her to walk down the stairs?
What I'm saying, that the Iron Maiden, when they come in, they have the spikes.
They don't touch them.
They don't touch him. So the thing of him going, the spikes disappearing, not needed, because the thing is, he's going to slide behind him. That doesn't have to have spikes.
Yeah,
that doesn't have to, but they made it so like that. And also like it right into that scene where he puts the CD and he starts scratching.
Yeah, he DJ'd. That was the dialogue.
Little, I had fun with this watching it again. I mean, there's the footpaws are there, but it's just very minor in my opinion, where the performance of the four main actors just outshine. Because I mean, I did like Michael Keaton playing again Bruce Wayne. You see him as a businessman, using his smarts to counter what Max Schreck is trying to do with the power plant. Before the death of Selina, or the first attempt of death out the window, that she's savvy too. She's smart.
Oh yeah.
She's able to figure out the passcode.
Yeah. Oh, she put the two and two together. She was trying to get. She was trying to be like the executive assistant. Everybody treats her like a secretary, putting all the paperwork. She had all the speeches and does all the work, and they're just
but she has moments
taking the credit. It's
right.
Gone.
And she has the smarts, but she doesn't have the confidence, because remember, she tried to have an idea, and Max shut her down by belittling her. She doesn't own her place yet. She just started.
But she makes a mean cup of coffee.
Right. She has the intelligence too. Even Oswald. I'm gonna say Oswald Copperbot. He's smart too, but in a certain way, where he was just limited in the sense of what he was trying to do, get the kids. He was trying to get revenge of.
That was his original plan from the get-go.
Right. That's what you want to do. You want to get his revenge on the city, on the aristocrats, on that stuff, because his parents were of that society, and they detest. It was like, what would the neighbors think?
Yeah.
What would our friends think? And I have to say, the way they threw him in the water was very
cold. Yeah, it's very.
Well, the thing is, they were like.
Well, like the best way I can describe it is like the thing that comes to mind is like the 101 Dalmatian. Like when they were born, they try to toss them into the water. Yeah, and that's the thing that comes to mind. It's very childish, but that's a mean and harsh scene, even for a kid's cartoon.
Right. And it's kind of very, again, religious to Moses.
On the flip side of it, yeah.
Right, but in the opposite way, where, Where in Moses, the mother was trying to save her child and says for a better life, not to get killed. Where these guys, they're trying to kill the baby or get rid of it somehow, some way.
And you see them like they're trying to pretend, like other parents are walking by,
Right.
and then they're rushing over to the bridge to toss them.
Exactly. And then the same bridge, I believe it's the same bridge.
It is.
That he jumps over himself
To escape the crowd.
and the police. It was not the crowd, but more like the police.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's
why does it?
yes. But so after that scene where
These DJs,
DJ Wayne plays that
Penguin's greatest hits.
exactly. Yes, they're all there to cheer for him, right? They're all there initially to cheer for him.
Yeah, to want him as mayor.
Yeah. And then those same people happen to have eggs,
Cabbage and
tomatoes. And he's like, why do they always have this here?
He's like, why is there always one person that brings tomatoes and eggs?
So it wasn't one person here. It was almost all of them.
Yeah.
Which is
I even said that before he said it. I'm like, how do they have tomatoes and the cabbages just ready in the middle of winter?
And what was funny though is like this happened a lot in so many movies back in the day where that's the thing is that you hate a performance or you hate a person, you have that there. So I think it's a very comical Easter egg or trope or homage to that. And we see films of yesteryear, just like the first Batman and this one. It's not a period piece, but it takes influence of the 40s in the sense of how they're dressed.
I can see that.
Very clean. Well, especially Max Schreck with his pinstripe suits and the shoot covers.
I would say in this one, you have less of a feel of like what they're, except for Max, of course. You have a less of a feel like, oh, I can put this in this decade versus in the first one. The first one, you could say, yeah, that feels like this kind of decade film. Other than the fact that no one has cell phones, you could say, oh, this may have been like, this feels like a later time frame. Like this could be like closer to our time frame, arguably, except for CDs and.
Oh, you talk about like of watching it today?
Yeah, like style wise.
Well, it was very stylistic, of course. And like I said, we're going back to like how they were like all the men have the hats, the kids they wear the cap, like the newsboy.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Cap.
He's like, read all about it, handing out the newspapers.
Right.
That was still a thing, yeah.
But when in the 80s, that hasn't been a thing for a long time. But again, it works for each year because this world is not of this world. It's not of this time.
Yeah.
And it hasn't been for so long, but it fits in that world, that universe. Do we have any other, the faux pas? I mean, I know there's probably more faux pas, but
arguably negligible.
Yes. Well, okay, I'll say this.
Maybe in the fights, some of the fight scenes, like he does a full-on duck spin in one of the fights.
Which was cool, though. I know. Which one? The one against the clowns?
Yeah.
No, it was good. I mean, the fight scenes were a lot better.
I think he had a stunt double for the fights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course he did. But they're better here than the first one. And there's more of them here. And some of the fight scenes are not... he did... Okay, this is what I like. So before he blows up the big guy, right? He's walking and he does a Bruce Lee back fist. Did you notice that one?
Yes, I did.
He's walking, the clown comes, he goes, "Pwah!" And then he just grabs the guy, he throws him over, then he bumps into the big ball-headed guy, and then he puts the bomb on him, which was really funny because you see it like it just works.
Oh, I thought it was funny about the radar when he was near the end with the penguins, and it looks like a duck. He's like, I'm tracking the signal as a duck.
Well, no, that's the duck. That's his when he was riding.
Yes, but how does he know it's a duck? He's just tracking the signal. It's a signal. That's gonna be a bleep.
Could be a homage to like also how simple it was with the Batman 66 series, where they made stuff like that to help the audience identify. But yes, you're right. It just and why a duck? Why not a big penguin?
And how did the Batmobile explode from the sewer? The Batboat explode from the sewer. Which you called that out. You're like every time you see a new Bat vehicle, like the first one, no, but the second one always gets destroyed.
The Bat jet
in the first one
got hit. It got destroyed right away by the Joker by doing one shot. I thought it was like, really? And then here is...
He crashes it.
He crashes it. Right.
On
He
purpose.
well, that was on purpose, but almost not because the penguins were shooting at him. He was able to flip and he saw it. He was like, oh,
Yeah.
he missed it. But that Batmobile doesn't get damaged. It may have to adjust because like what happened where it lost its size to fit through the small alley.
But that was planned. He's like,
Well,
interesting.
wasn't planned.
He ejected it.
Well, he was trying something else and it wasn't working. So he went for that option.
No, he hit the same switch. He was just hitting it like multiple times. It was the same switch.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
I thought it was something else that he was trying to do. And then he hit that. Okay. Because I thought it was something else. He says he went for another like plan B because it wasn't working, but okay. But that was cool. And it kind of reminded me of Christopher Nolan's Batman,
Over
The Dark Knight.
well, I could see like Nolan's Batman took inspiration from some of that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, because when Batman was in the Bat
From the Bat tank goes into the Bat motorcycle.
right. For some reason, it reminded me of that, or I could see where Nolan got that influence because the wheels from side to side went in front of each other to make it almost like a motorcade.
Yeah.
And where Nolan, he's in to lock in to shoot, but since the tank is like messed up, he only has now the bat cycle.
Yeah.
And it kind of goes into the same thing that it takes the wheels, readjusts out to be the bat cycle. This movie is definitely worth the watch.
It's a good time.
In my opinion, it's so much better. Again, with the Rotten Tomatoes score, 81% by the critics, 73% by the audience.
It has to be higher.
It does. For me, it's like,
I don't remember what we scored the original.
well, we scored original. I don't remember either, but here I would give it a solid 90.
That was the thought. I had that same thought. I was saying 90 in my mind.
Because if this would be a trilogy, this would be the Empire Strikes Back movie for Burton.
Yeah.
Because I find it better than A New Hope. A New Hope is great. The Empire beats it just by a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
In a sense of direction, pace, character development, and all that stuff. Because we have better character development of Bruce Wayne. The first one is more about Batman. Here it's more about Bruce Wayne with some Batman too. But it's just, and the performances, like I said before, it's just so much better. The action is so much better. Like you feel sorry for the Penguin.
Yeah, there are times where you do feel empathy for his character. The only one you don't feel empathy for is Shrek.
No,
and even though like there's like a moment where he's like, I'm doing this for my son. Don't take my son. Take me. Chip, the guy that everybody forgets, who looks like he's on steroids. I'm going to understand. It was huge. But even at that, I was like, I have no empathy for Shrek. These other two characters, I do have empathy for.
Right. I don't think you're supposed to have empathy for Shrek, but you're supposed to have empathy for the other characters.
Yes.
How like it feels like Penguin is Tim Burton.
Okay.
Well, meaning that like
someone that's misunderstood or considered outcast.
Outcast, not that attractive, but creative.
Okay.
Intelligent. He probably had some issues they had to deal with and, overcome himself. Even though we see him maybe as the Penguin, but he sees himself more like Batman with his creativity.
Yeah. Or like he tells Shrek, he's like, we're both monsters. The difference is you're respected where I am not as of yet.
Well, he also said like where his trash is his treasure in a way. I'm paraphrasing, of course, but the old saying when they first meet, him and Shrek.
Yeah.
First meet.
He pulls up all his dirty laundry and stuff.
Right.
Yeah. Even the hand of his former colleague, which he knew that basically Shrek killed his colleague. And
all the plans he had, he found the paperwork and he taped them all together to make it legible and all the stuff and to find out what's going on. So he knew, like I said, every character here were intelligent.
Yeah.
They didn't really show that so much in the first one, the Joker. They say he's intelligent because they read it on a file.
But they didn't break it down.
They didn't break it out. Here you see it multiple times how each character is intelligent, how they're able to figure things out or how they're able to do things they were able to do. Batman also, he's like reading stuff. He's reading articles on Penguin and his escapades, and it's like, wait a minute, kids were disappearing here. This guy is not all he cracks up to be. So he's putting the pieces together from from his
Circus.
Yes. So we both give it 90. It's worth the watch. It is a Christmas movie. Damn it, it is. It's a superhero Christmas movie. We don't have that many. The next one, I guess, similar to that is Iron Man 3. It's part of our Christmas movies to watch annually. That's just like Die Hard, just like The Grinch Who Stole Christmas, just like Home Alone 1 and 2.
Well, there I go.
All right, guys, that is our Thesiness review of Batman Returns. Have you seen it? What was your favorite moment? Do you agree with our score? As always, if you have a movie or show you'd like us to review, please let us know in the comments below. Until next time, we'll be the next time. I'm Angel.
I'm Adan.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.